And hello guys, welcome to what is the Mind Games 4th season of League Play. I'm Jared Jam, and joining me today is Julius. Should be around here somewhere, at least I hope. Julius, are you with us, buddy? I'm guessing not. So, still, we have a field ready for us. We have both of the teams, I think, ready, or at least one of the guys. It's Bluebirds versus Lucidity, the opening match of the series, but there will be quite a lot more games in the season as well. Just a quick word of what this will be. So, 22 teams have played the qualifying matches. Only 8 of them made through, and these teams are Bluebirds, Team Luminescence, RR3 Gaming, Nosgoth, Firewall, No Hope, In Fact, and Lucidity. And for the first match, we actually have the top team from that list and the bottom team from that list. Doesn't mean they are the worst teams. No. One of them is the best team, one of them is the worst team. No, this is just how it happens. But the opening match is indeed Bluebirds versus Lucidity. These guys will play for 4 weeks. Each week they're playing 2 series of matches. And series are a bit different than they are in RLCS. So it's not a best of 3, not a best of 5. Teams are playing 3 matches. That's it. Whatever the score is in first 2 matches, if it's 2-0, doesn't matter. Teams still play 3 matches, and for every win that they get 1 point. Obviously, it gets sort of accumulated in the league table. And at the end of that little season, there's a playoff. So if I'm not mistaken, top will help me out here. Top 4. I would believe teams will be going through the playoff again. Then it will be the best of 5 when the grand finals will be the best of 7. And you might ask, what are these teams playing for? These teams are playing for $250 in total. And the first place gets $150, second place gets $70, and the third place gets $30.
That is right. 8 teams, a $250 prize pool. Sure sounds exciting. This is for the 4th time in a row. And this is, of course, sponsored by Mind Games. And the first match that we're going to see right here is Bluebirds versus Lucidity. Now, I do see some names here in the lobby already, like Eichwolf and Hansen, and we already see strong players. So this should be a promising first match.
Yeah, it should be indeed. And Patrick was here just a while ago. He has rejoined us. So yeah, this team, I wouldn't be surprised if these are the Bluebirds. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're just waiting for their opponents. Hopefully they'll be joining us soon. Both of the teams should be ready and up and go for those 3 matches that they will be playing today. hope to see some great openings for these games. And Eichwolf, well, that's a name and a half. You see this guy all the time in the tournaments. He usually just wins all those 1v1s that are being played, but it's really nice to see him for a change in some team tournaments as well. And let's hope that the team that he has collected, or perhaps it's the team that has invited him, let's hope that this team will show some really great football.
Football, or I guess strong esports abilities, I guess you could say. Yes, that's Eichwolf is very strong in 1v1s, 2v2s, and also 3v3s, which and you know, all of these little tournaments. It's always you always know, you always kind of feel scared, I guess, when you see the name Eichwolf. But let's see what we can deliver here, and let's put his he's putting his abilities to the test with this one in 3v3. So, man, I'm just excited that we're finally here in the Mind Games League. Like, this is just incredible.
Yeah, and I'm actually seeing this for the first time. I've somehow missed the previous 3, but I'm sure they were as great as this one will turn out to be. And again, just the fact that there's such a big prize for all of these teams to fight for, obviously that will just spur them up to fight even harder on these matches. And just getting quickly back to Eichwolf, just recently he has posted, either on Twitter or I think in Discord as well, he has actually reached the number 6 spot on the 1v1's ranked leaderboards. So I remember just a few weeks ago, he was basically somewhere in the top 50 maybe, but he seemingly has done a push right there, and he is now up there with people like, almost up there with people like Chesed, K-Dop. K-Dop is still a bit unreachable, almost has one, well, at this point, around 60 or so points above Chesed. Still, Eichwolf is amongst people like Lethmir, and even higher than them, even Scrupkilla. Scrupkilla, of all the people, is lower than Eichwolf at this point. Seemingly, so this isn't the server we should be on. We should be switching to a different one.
We should be switching to a different one. We're facing some small difficulties. We're going to remake this match, and we'll be right back with hopefully everyone in the match.
Certainly. And again, getting back to the Eichwolf, if you didn't know, Eichwolf isn't just a Rocket League player. What Rocket League player he is. At this point in season number 4, he is once again the grand champion in every single game mode. Duels, doubles, solo standard, and standard. He is rocking them all. But Eichwolf is also an avid speedrunner. He has if this page is to be believed, he currently owns 2 world records. One of them is for the Ori and the Blind Forest. It's the any percent category. So you basically complete the game as fast as possible without completing it fully. So 100% will be the case. Just 100% as fast as possible, even assuming this is with glitches. And also the game called Defunct. Actually, I'm not sure what the game exactly is, but it's listed there. Plus, I've heard that Eichwolf really loves to play his Osu, that clicking game with music.
All right, so I'm not really up to par with what the status is technicality-wise, but so let's just take a break right here and be hopefully returning in very, very shortly.
And welcome back, guys. Sorry for that little pause, but I think we finally got all of our chickens in the basket. No, all of our eggs in the basket. And all around the stadium as well, actually. If you look over here, I'm still Jam. Together with me is still Julius. And we once again are missing one of the teams. Julius, have you seen the other team?
I have not yet, but what I can say is that in this quick moment, we have switched the location. We are now in the DFH Stadium, but we are still without another team. So we'll see what happens. But let's just let's still see like about the other team here. We have yeah. So we have obviously we have one team, Hansen, Eichhoff, and Free Crates, or is it Hansen, Eichhoff, and Patrick?
I'd say it's Patrick, Hansen, and Eichhoff. Free Crates is just Free Crates. He just asks to give him crates, I would assume. Looking for free crates.
That makes sense as well. That works too. But we are still looking for the other team. So if we do look over at their team, what sort of players and abilities and whatnot will us expect there? And will this be a very tough fight for the first game?
Well, it should be. Whoever is playing against the team with Eichhoff, or just playing against Eichhoff, should find themselves in a really horrible position. And Eichhoff obviously doesn't just gather any old players. He tends to gather some great players around him as well. And I think we finally get all 6 players in one match. They haven't just run around in different lobbies. So any second now, the opening match. Unfortunately, we don't have any of the fireworks and all that stuff, but just bear with us as the first match of the Mind Games League Season 4 is about to start.
This is really, really exciting. Okay, here we go. And the kickoff is just about to start as the teams did join. And we were right. Eichhoff and Hansen were on Bluebirds. But here we go. Kickoff starting now. Hitting off the back of Patrick, going for it. And unfortunately, Northside, we are only hitting the goalpost there. Eichhoff hitting it over into the corner, even and setting it up perfectly for Hansen to make his first goal into the Mind Games League Season 4.
All right, it seems like Northside Wigga has been completely outplayed by those movements from Eichhoff and Hansen. And so they put one first, even though Lucidity has really had a really great chance right at the start of that match. Unfortunately, a miss cost him an attack on the other end, so they now find themselves down. Still, I don't think we should discount them. Just look at everyone on their side sporting that Grand Champion tag. So these guys are not a weak bunch. I think they will put up quite a fight against the Bluebirds.
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. So even though we think any fight against Eichhoff is a tough fight, we have not seen this team yet. So we shall see what it delivers. But like right now, we do see the balls over on the blue side of the field with, but never mind. Hansen hitting it over to the other side, onto the back wall, and I believe it was Eichhoff not letting it pass the center line there. Still kind of in a corner fight as Patrick hits it back. Northside Wigger, and kind of a play there onto the back wall. Cornino hitting it over to the other side as Hansen does try to make a play and go for the demo on Cornino. but doesn't actually get that far as they are still right there for defense. As Hansen hits it off the backboard and not letting it off the midline as Aiko goes over, having a kind of a duel there on the midline. So definitely a lot of back and forth, but the Aiko team, Bluebirds, does seem to be very strong, especially on the middle line, and lots of teamwork as Patrick does want to go for that on around the side as he does get demoed, but we'll see what happens next as the ball is on the Patrick and Hansen. Patrick has passing it over to Hansen, who then passes it in right there, making the.
Well, it was quite an interesting play because Lucidity actually just scrambled around the whole field, went for the boost, and I wouldn't be surprised if at this point, obviously, Lucidity would be out of boost completely as Bluebirds. For the past, let's say, 2 minutes, have been sitting in the orange half, constantly pressuring Lucidity, and finally it pays off. Still, it would be interesting to see Lucidity in attack for once. So far, they really haven't impressed. They have tried to do something, but still their team play is still a bit lacking. Those plays that they've been managing to set up, there was a pass, but no one was at the end of it. Right now, again, Northside Wiga find themselves all alone with no one from his team in support.
Hansen hitting it over to the corner. Aiko on foot to the other side, but I believe that Patrick was not there just in time. Northside Wiga again being all alone in that corner. Merlin going for that, but not being there just in time as Patrick does hit it over to the corner, and Merlin making it the first goal for Lucidity.
Yeah, this all started with a bad clear by Patrick, so Mr. Dillon just pounces on it. And despite Hansen just being there, Hansen just says, great pass. He acknowledges that was a really great pass, unfortunately by his teammate, not by the opponent himself. So this finally is the opening goal for Lucidity, but in a really strange fashion. I'm still not a believer that they can sort of close out a great passing play. And Hansen immediately wants to fix something, and this is actually his third goal. He was the sole scorer for the Bluebirds so far. And once again, they just find themselves in a good position while Lucidity is still trying to get into position.
Hansen 3 goals and Patrick 2 assists on this side as well. Not saying so much from Aiko just yet, but that may still change. But Aiko, as I say that, he actually does trying to go for a move, but Northside Wiga kind of defends himself there, and Aiko does actually not get there in time as Northside Wiga does score the next goal, pulling Northside Wiga only 1 goal difference between Lucidity and Bluebirds.
That was quite a bit of a fluke. I don't think Northside Wiga meant that. He was actually just trying to put it upfield and just ends up in a net. Would assume that Bluebirds were basically thinking attack at that point. Ball was quite deep in the Lucidity's territory, so no one was back. And with the power that actually shot off the wall, Lucidity could get that second one. And Eichel, well, not really in time with that save. But again, going backwards, making saves going like that is one of the toughest saves in the game. Lucidity still are trying. Well, again, another goal I'm not convinced about. Still, it's a 3-game series, and every single win just counts for 1 point. So whatever is the score of this one doesn't really matter for the next ones. Although it does, I think, get the team in a certain mood, and we'll see what mood both of these teams end up with.
And we do see Northside Wiga kind of going for it, but not having any boost doesn't really help him in this stage, as the ball does hit off the backboard and the counter already hits 8 seconds. Well, that went by really, really fast if you think about it. But we do see a lot of back and forth as they are not letting the ball touch the ground. Northside Wiga not being there in time, and the winner of this first season series is Bluebirds.
Bluebird do indeed win their first match, and well, perhaps the score doesn't really reflect that, but I think the way that they played was really convincing. They didn't let Lucidity out of their half for the most part of the match, and the amount of saves that you see on the Lucidity players just shows that Bluebirds were constantly pummeling the goal of Lucidity with shots one after the other. I'm quite surprised that on the other end, for 6 shots of Lucidity, there's only 1 save by Hansen. And Hansen obviously is the MVP of this match since he has made every single goal for Bluebirds team. Eichwolf, surprisingly enough, is right at the bottom there, but still scores that 1 assist and has put the most amounts of shot on the net of Lucidity. So this is match number 1, which means that Bluebirds do get 1 point already on the leaderboard. Let's see if Lucidity can get 2 in the next upcoming matches.
Yeah, let's see indeed. And I believe we have the next match following here. Yeah. So yes, we shall see what is happening here. This is as things heat up, and you were right. Bluebirds definitely show a stronger team, and Eichwolf definitely coming forward again, even though he didn't make any goals yet. But we shall see what is happening next up. So as we do say that there's the next kickoff onto the corner. Northside Rigger not being there on time, as it is now being played by Mr. Dillon, I believe. Mr. Dillon and Patrick not letting Lucidity out of their half again, as Konyun does try to go for that, but Patrick wants to go for the goalpost. But as I said, that Hansen makes it over to the backboard. They're hitting it off the backboard, hitting it on the goalpost once again. So that was 3 failed attempts from Bluebirds there. So they're already showing lots of action. Eichwolf does actually score his first goal there, coming out of the nowhere.
Well, yeah, it's finally is working for Eichwolf. All he did basically was just place a shot on the net, and with 2 goals, actually even getting almost in the way of each other. Bluebirds opened the scoring as Lucidity had to endure basically what was 5 shots in the first opening minute. And, well, an immediate return from them. I seen a Koeneno, that name. I'd rather say Mr. Dillon Northside Wiga. Koeneno. Those letters just get jumbled up as you try to read them. Let's see if Lucidity can get back as many goals as they did in the previous game. Let's see if their game plan changes. So far, what I've seen from the Bluebirds is their impeccable passing plays. They like to play those quick passages, one to the other, powerful, so that the opponent doesn't have the time to react. Even though the opening goal, obviously, in this one was just a fast shot by Eichwolf, I do still think that the pressure and the quick passing plays of Bluebirds will make quite a huge difference in the upcoming matches.
Oh yes, it probably will make a huge difference. But Eichwolf is going for the ball again, dribbling over to the blue side. I believe that was Hansen catching it off the middle line there. But right now, Northside Riga and Eichwolf kind of going for it. Maryland being there as well, and Hansen hitting it over to the off the roof and onto the orange side of the field. And I believe that is Kanunu, and definitely struggling with those names.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that one. Koeneno. Oh, Kanino.
That one.
One of them,
certainly. But yeah, so it is on the blue side of the field as Hansen does try to take it over, not passing the north side rig on the middle line there. Kanunu again staying over there, and again not letting it pass the middle line. So right now, Lucidity is very high up, I guess.
Well, at this point, they are down by 1 goal, and finally we do see some pressure from them, but it's not converting into shots, and Eichel just easily dispossesses the Lucidity team of that ball. Miraculously, with both hands and Eichel going for it, they miss. So Northside Wiga uses that chance and immediately puts his team back into this match.
Yes, he does, and he that was a long goal as well, I believe, over there from the orange side of the field, far back as the goal, I believe. So, open net, an open ball, an open way is not really the way to go. So, right now. That's not so. Right now, the game is tied, so which makes this thing and the situation even more tense, I guess. But we will see that Patrick is dribbling right now and going for the attack, but Maryland being there to hit it off. Eichhoff now. Eichhoff hitting it over. Sorry, Hansen taking it off Eichhoff, which then makes the ball go all the way back, still on the orange side of the field. But Eichhoff doesn't really get there on time as Hansen goes for it now. Patrick hitting over the backboard. Eichhoff trying to go for it, but that was a very, very good defensive play there from Lucidity. And so Maryland and Hansen still going for the kind of battle play, I guess you could say. So we have 40 seconds left. What do you think either one of the teams really has to do in order to still turn this game around within the last 30 seconds left?
Well, Bluebirds seemingly are doing everything they can, and it's working so far. It's just that they can't find a goal, even with the dribbles from Eichhoff and Hansen. It's just not happening. What I also seeing from them is perhaps they're not playing to their limit. I've seen a couple of chances where Hansen decided to play it safely. And, well, perhaps he is in his own right, as the lost match obviously means that you lose one of these points that are available in the league table. But it seems that at this point, both teams are quite comfortable to just bring it into overtime. Even though basically the overtime will be the same as they're playing right now, it's just one goal decides it all. And still, perhaps teams just feel like a change of pace, a quick kickoff. Unfortunately, Eichhoff isn't the one to play that off, and usually Eichhoff is the man for those quick kickoffs, but it almost ends up in the other direction. Savage goes from Lucidity. Let's see if that demolition will help them.
Yes, we will, as it is actually in the orange side of the field, and right now two members from Lucidity and Eichhoff kind of battling there, as it does get hit over by Patrick. Patrick hit passed over to Hansen. Hansen is in the as the ball gets out of the corner there onto the middle. Patrick tries to go for it, just misses that goal. Unfortunately, Eichhoff trying to go for it, and Hansen, trying to go for it again and making it into the goal. Eichhoff defending the goal there, trying to go, misses the goal, unfortunately. So this is very tense, very, very tense, and lots of action happening.
And just look at that individual skill as well. We see that dribble from Mr. Dillon from his own half, off the wall, dribbles in the air, does a couple of flicks to completely outplay the Bluebirds defense. Unfortunately, it's rarely that you can out-dribble the whole three-man team, and he couldn't do so, but still, if you could hear the cheers from the crowds, from these eggs in the stadium, I think they will clap and cheer in appreciation of the move that Mr. Dillon just did. And boy, they do need those moves. Lucidity is still really down right now in this game, in the possession, in the time spent in the attack. But it's the overtime, so let's see whether a fluke goal or perhaps a measured one will help them.
That was really, really close right there from Lucidity. Hansen being either there to defend, though, which is good, as Maryland tries to go over again. Hansen kind of hitting a volley there. Hansen going over again to hitting the ball into the corner. As we do see Maryland hits it over to the blue side of the field once again and tries to go for that goal. Oh my God, but they're hitting the crossbar twice. So crossbar challenge, I guess so, maybe.
No points for that, unfortunately. I've read the rulebook for the tournament. Unfortunately, don't get anything. They can get a special participation prize maybe for that one. a good you tried, but crossbars don't count for nothing, don't count for goals either. And both of the teams are currently looking for that one. And soon enough, I think the tiredness will set in, because usually you have your 5-minute games. Occasionally it goes just a tad longer with those overtimes, and then you have a break. Right now you need to be on point all the time, and usually just people aren't used to that, so we'll see mistakes coming out quite soon.
Oh yes, and we're hoping this and depending on which mistakes are being made, that will decide the winner of this next match. And so we will, if you do feel the tension here in the stadium is very, very high right now, as this is a very all-deciding kind of situation here. As Hansen and Eichel trying to go for that play. Oh my God, Patrick trying to hit it in. Unfortunately, oh my God, unfortunately not really being enough to make it into the goal there. Hansen going for it once again. Lucidity being really, really strong on the defense there.
Well, they have to be. At this point, if they weren't, I think they would be down by, let's say, 5 goals or so, because Bluebirds do love putting those shots in. The shot differential perhaps isn't as crazy. I think the difference is only 5 shots between these two teams, but in a surprising fashion, Mr. Dylan, where did he come from? Just takes the ball for himself. Actually, see, it's the dribbles. He's shown the glimpse of it before, and right now, with that amazing move, basically, again, a dribble the whole team, it seems. The thing that I deemed to be impossible, he puts one in right in the overtime with 4 minutes, extra minutes played, and he gives his team 1 point. Although at this point, I didn't even expect that they could make it.
That was incredible. Mr. Dylan, sorry, that was incredible. Mr. Dylan 07 does make the all-deciding goal there, breaking the overtime, breaking the lucidity, and pulling them and giving themselves 1 point in this league play right here. So we'll see what this next match brings for us, but that was really, really incredible. And I also forgot I had to correct myself here, as I keep on saying Maryland. You keep on saying Mr. Dylan. This is kind of confusing, but yes, Lucidity, are they coming back?
Well, this win in the overtime could have given him some really much needed sort of confidence in them. Still, I would say that Lucidity's play is shaky at best. They are good with using their chances when the chances appear. Obviously, those counterattacks are quite deadly from their side. But when it comes a time for the normal play, Bluebirds have been repeating what they started in the match number 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if they once again take control of the ball and spell the majority of this match in the side of Lucidity.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see how this goes. So so this will be the last match, unfortunately, of this series, as we do see the ball being kind of pushed around here, and this is not luckily this is not like a best of 3 or anything. This is just another match, essentially giving whoever wins this team an advantage, as Patrick already makes his first goal coming from the center right there.
Oh, there are some wild bounces in this match. Actually, Northside Wiga was the one who made the pass. I wouldn't be surprised, with the help of Eichwolf, since Eichwolf got the assist. So that clear by Northside Wiga on its way out hit Eichwolf and just made a great pass for Patrick, who wins the kickoff as well. And Bluebirds give themselves yet another strong opening. But in the previous game, that strong opening I don't think meant much, as the game sort of slowed down. And Lucidity, well, they are quite not as deadly perhaps in the attack, but they are absolutely great in their defense. The amounts of saves that they made, I haven't recorded what they made in the previous match, but it's an obscene number of saves. But with any game like that, at some point the lead will break, and seemingly Bluebirds finally have figured out how to break Lucidity.
Oh my god, that was incredible. Hansen coming over, kind of seeing a loophole, if you will, in Lucidity's defense there, and being able to hit it off straight to the front and pulling Bluebirds 2-0 into the lead, and almost a 3-0 there by Eichwolf, barely missing it, and so Eichwolf hitting it over, and the blue. Sorry, I cannot speak even because the atmosphere is just so tense here at the DFH Stadium. So the ball and being over in the corner and hitting it off the backboard. Hansen kind of still pushing for it, but without his support of his teammates, he won't really achieve much as. Northside Wigger and Hansen kind of battle for it. Hansen winning this one, and Eichwolf going for it again, but unfortunately not being enough to kind of make this goal, I guess. Eichwolf once again and passing it over to Hansen now on the other side of the field. Patrick wanted to go for it, but only loses that ball to Lucidity as. Northside Wigger does want to go for it, but not being there in time, which we see a lot of from Northside Wigger. So we shall see how this further develops. But Lucidity seem to be catching up in terms of teamwork, in terms of battling, I guess you could say, and not making as many mistakes as they did in the beginning of the play. That being said, they were almost scored upon as Kunino does it off and defend Lucidity there. Hansen going for it once again, but Eichwolf once again on the hitting the ball over the orange side of the field.
And Lucidity really haven't done much in this match at all. They now concede their third one, so everyone on Bluebird's side now has a goal apiece. And Eichwolf is the final one. Just does a quick drifting turn and hits it with quite a lot of power. Mr. Dillon seemingly not expecting the fact that his opponent will return so quickly. But basically what we've seen from Lucidity so far is one proper attack. It was actually a 3-on-1 attack. All three members of Lucidity were in blue side with only one goalie. I think it was Eichwolf. That counted as their one shot. They sort of placed it straight at Eichwolf, who immediately cleared it, and that was the end of that attack. So unfortunately for Lucidity, they had to battle with some poor bounces that weren't going their way, a couple of poor clears that obviously didn't go their way either, and now at this point they seem to be broken. They can't do anything in this match, and Patrick just keeps on pummeling and puts in yet another goal for Bluebirds.
Bluebirds just do not stop. They just do not stop. They see a hole, they see an opportunity, they see a chance, and they immediately take this chance. So Hansen goes for it once again. Now Eichwolf passes it over. Unfortunately, Lucidity being there as well, a member of Lucidity. Patrick trying to go for it again, and Eichwolf as well. So Eichwolf right now Bluebirds trying to play a bit on their defense, but Hansen once again trying to go for it. Patrick, oh my god, he's making the same mistake as he did before, which was kind of preventing the goal beforehand. Eichwolf going once again on the sorry, we're not right now battling on the blue side, hitting it over to the orange side of the field. So Patrick is trying to go for that, as actually, never mind, Mr. Dillon 07 makes the first goal for Lucidity. Will it have much of an impact in the 9 seconds and within the last 9 seconds? I highly doubt so.
Well, you would be right. Obviously, this doesn't really change much, unless there's a rule on the goal scored, but don't quote me on that. Just better check the document yourself. Yes, but Bluebirds, in really convincing fashion compared to the first two matches, they take the third match of the series, and even though it almost looked as if it will just go the way of Bluebirds, all three matches, nope, Lucidity got one in the middle. So at the end of the series, Bluebirds have 2 points on the tournament or league board. Lucidity have 1. So really, I don't think Lucidity can complain too much. They still got something out of the series, and they didn't put themselves in that much of a terrible position. Plus, there's still so many games to be played, but 1 point, quite often 1 point can be the deciding one between the getting to the playoffs and not getting there.
Exactly, and that is kind of the reason why this is not really a best of 3, best of 5 kind of thing, kind of a deal, but rather a series, as you said. But unfortunately, as much as we would love to still continue on with the next couple of series within the kind of continue on the journey. This was, in fact, already it for our first stream, and actually, for our first stream of Mind Games League Season 4. And so I believe we will be back next week with the next week of Mind Games League play. But for right now, my name is Julius, and I was here with Giraffe Jam. We were reporting live from the DFH Stadium. And this is it, and thank you very, very much for tuning in once again. See you guys next week.
Make the ground shake.